Hi, Dave.
Hey, Heather, how we doing?
I'm Heather, nice to meet you.
Nice to
So
meet you as
Paul
well.
told me he is heading over with Amy to discuss LMC's business model a little bit, and that you're going to show me around the yard.
Absolutely. Let's head over to the West Yard and check out a survey hall that's going on.
That sounds great. Let's go. So tell me a little bit about the marketplace model that we have here at LMC.
So the marketplace model is a little bit different than other shipyards. We really put the captain's crew in control of their full shipyard experience.
Okay.
We've got 29 tenants on site that are part of the all the core trades for anything you'd need to do in a shipyard period, and also have a list of 300 authorized contractors that you can use during your shipyard period. We don't have any project management fees, any drop fees at the gates. It's all in your control of how you want to do the whole experience.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of different businesses here. They're all contractors. They rent out that space, I'm assuming.
So yeah, we have, of the 29 tenants that we have on site, we have several contractors, all in those key trades, from doing running gear, metal work, paint work, carpentry, electronics, everything there. We also have some brokerage houses on site, and also have aligned with several of the key builders in the industry. Ferretti Group has their service yard here. Choi Lee also does all their service work here. Princess does theirs through a group called Aquamare, and Benetti does all their service work. So those are a lot of the groups that we've aligned ourselves with. And it really works well with our marketplace model for the builders and management companies who really want to run their own shipyard period.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about where we're heading now.
So right now we're going into the West Yard.
Okay.
In this yard we have two haul-out machines. One is our 220 Chimolai machine. We call her Brutus.
Okay. Now 220, what does that stand for?
So 220 tons is the max that this machine can haul out. If you want to step out, we can take a better look.
Sure.
So our 220 ton machine, max length on this is usually about 125 feet.
Okay.
And max beam is right around 32 foot beam. So that's generally what we're pulling out of the water with this. We also have a 100-ton well. That's around the 90-foot range of boats that we can haul out of the water. And then throughout the yard, we've also got 485, which is our largest.
Wow.
We can haul out boats up to 185 feet on that machine. So that's 485 tons being the max on that.
Gotcha.
And then a 75-ton lift for some smaller boats. A lot of the tenders to a lot of these larger boats, we can haul out there. Lastly, we've got a 140-ton travel lift, which is retractable for catamarans. So we built that one so we can do boats with the larger beam, the catamaran, so that's up to 33 foot as well.
Okay, so what are we doing with this boat that's coming out of the water here?
So this boat is just going back in from a survey. We do all kinds of different work on boats, from surveys for sale. They'll just come out, check the bottom, check the running gear, see that everything's good for the boat to be sold. And then we do, as far as even bigger projects, you can see over here, this boat's been hauled out for a full refit, full paint job,
wow.
10-year survey, everything from there. So wide range of different kind of work that can be done here at LMC.
Yeah, it seems like anything that a boat needs, it can come here and get it done.
Yep, and any kind of work, and then any kind of size range. We've got over 200 slips here on site, about 100 on the hard, 100 in the water, and they range from our marina on this side to the working slips over in the basin. So really that wide variety of things that we're offering, and really making that you're in control of your shipyard experience, and we're here to accommodate you the best we possibly can.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dave. Is there anything else that I missed that I should have asked that I didn't?
No, I'd love to. We'll take you back around to the around the basin. You can see some other work that's being done in the yard.
Okay, perfect. Let's go.
All right. Well, everybody, I found Amy. We're at Yacht out on the docks at LMC, And Amy and I are going to have a bit of a conversation about what goes on at LMC and what makes it different here. Nice to see you, Amy.
You too, Paul.
Long time, you okay?
Yes, very well.
Good, good. It looks like things are kind of busy around here.
We are very busy.
That's-
It's season, we're taking care of everyone and making sure they get their work done and ready to roll. Head to the Bahamas, head to New England, maybe the Med.
It's almost time to go. Very cool. Well, you know, as we've talked about a little bit in the past, and I want to revisit, LMC has a bit of a different model. I know that Heather and Dave have talked briefly about the business model here at LMC as it differs. Give me a little oversight or dig in a little bit deeper as to what makes LMC different than your standard drop it off at the yard, drop the keys off and call me when it's done.
So there are a few different types of models. The model we have here is called our marketplace model.
Right.
We use the analogy of we supply the dance floor, you bring the dancers. You
Okay.
make the decisions. You are in control. You choose your contractors. You run your schedule. You manage your project. We are here to elevate the experience and make sure that all the chaos is kept behind the scenes.
Okay.
And make sure it is efficient and meeting your needs.
Okay. Well, I would imagine that that speaks right away to some cost savings because you're not paying somebody else to manage your project, right?
Correct.
So there's something I'd like to drill down on a little bit, and that is most people are accustomed to having a project manager, and that's whether it's a 40-footer or a 400-footer. They're used to being able to just have one go-to guy. How is it that you guys differ from that?
We let those decisions be made by the crew. The crew, the captain, and the owner. We do have project management available on site
Okay.
if they so choose to do that, if it's a larger project. But normally, their top priorities are schedule, cost, and just the timing of everything because they have to meet their owner's schedule or their charter schedule, so they control that.
So if you want a project manager, that service is available, but it's a subcontractor just like an air conditioning guy would be, or like a alignment or a propeller guy.
That's correct.
Okay, so you could coordinate through there. And what you guys do primarily is, as you said, provide the dance floor. So you got an appointed time that you show up at the dance floor. You know what it is, you know what music you want and what dance you're gonna try,
Yeah.
and then a time that you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
That's
kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
party's over.
All right. So as long as you don't ask me to sing, I think that would probably work out pretty well.
Exactly.
All
It's
right.
been very successful, and every captain has their own choice of how they'd like to handle it. And people have really made that a priority, so they choose to come here and
Right.
they choose our model.
Well-
We do have approximately 29 contractors on site that
Right.
kind of fulfill the core trades of underwater, running gear, zincs to
Paint, electronics, to
paint, yeah, exactly. Paint,
HVAC, everything.
and we also have an authorized contractor program that allows another 300 contractors to come in. So it is the choice of the captain and the owner to decide who they want to work with.
I got to tell you something. You know, that's someplace where LMC and IYBA align so beautifully because our mission statement is to promote professionalism and cooperation in the yacht sales industry, and we do it through education, networking, and the removal of barriers to commerce. LMC is the first yard that I know of that has put a program into place that requires that people meet a professional standard, that they have all the proper licensing and insurances. And if I'm not mistaken, that model has promulgated into a lot of other places in the area and throughout the industry in maintaining
we
a high
hope
level.
so. We always talk about ensuring that we keep the industry in South Florida
Right.
and the Venice of the United States, if you want to call it that. But we want to promote the younger generations to stay in this industry and work on the boats and work for a running gear, hydraulics, any type of company that we have available. So
MIASF is doing a really good job with their Salty Jobs initiative and bringing the message into the schools. You know, one of the things that we helped the state of Florida's legislature understand when we got the sales tax cap passed back in 2010 was that all of this work isn't giving rich guys a tax break. And it's not, you know, the evil big white boats. It's about jobs, and it's about jobs that pay 28% higher than the same trades in a different industry, in the residential or commercial construction industry. So these are good things. These are good messages to get out into the community, is that it uplifts a community to have a facility like this where you've got tradesmen that have a place to ply their trades, and they can provide services. It, you know, everybody knows, we've talked about it 100 times if we've talked about it once, that when a boat is in the community, 10% of the value of that boat is injected into that community on an annual basis, and 13% of it in the first year that the guy owns it. So this is a great place for that 13% to land. But it, you know, it doesn't land in your pocket or mine. It lands in everybody in the community's pocket, from the people that do the HVAC work to the people that sell shoes and work in restaurants and drive Ubers. So it makes a big difference. So one of the other things that you guys provide here that has become a little more popular over the last couple of years is an FTZ. Let's talk briefly about an FTZ, what it is, and actually we could probably walk out and look at what an FTZ looks like.
Yes.
Can you show me an FTZ that we'll understand?
I can.
That's awesome.
So the FTZ is the Foreign Trade Zone.
Right.
We work closely with Customs and Border Protection.
Okay.
They are the regulators of it. So we are under the umbrella of MIASF.
Right.
And what it is a designated berth at Lauderdale Marine Center, or there are many FTZs out in the industry.
Right, yeah, Bahia Mar has them, Pier 66 has them, and some of the other shipyards have them as well.
And it allows a vessel, a foreign flag vessel, to come into our designation and either sit for sale to U.S. buyers as well as anyone else. You can do duty drawbacks. You can also haul out or do work on the vessel and have a tax break. So tariffs would be tax-free, and that is called production authority. And Lauderdale Marine Center is the only one right now
that has production authority.
Correct. One also great thing that benefits someone coming into the foreign trade zone is the mere size of our facility. If you have a sale transaction, survey haul 99% of the time can be motivations, and we can get you in and out of the water in a timely fashion.
Well, and that was one of the original motivations for the FTZ, was the fact that foreign flag vessels, when coming to the United States, are required to apply for a cruising permit. And the cruising permit, when granted, stipulates specifically that this vessel is not available for sale or charter to U.S. residents while in U.S. waters. The FTZ provides the brokerage community an opportunity to offer that boat for sale to U.S. residents while it's not in U.S. waters, even though 13 seconds before the water may have been in U.S. waters. It's now international water, and then as the tide moves, it's U.S. water again. So the water itself isn't what's considered, it's the location. But it allows that business to be transacted, and it removes that discrimination against U.S. residents for boats that are here, and it can be sold to them.
And it makes it very efficient for the brokerage community.
It does. It does. Another thing that it does is it makes it efficient for the new boat manufacturer as well. For example, if a new boat manufacturer has their North American distribution here in the United States, but a boat may come from a foreign builder, it can come here and be rigged and not have the duty paid on it before it's sent out to Mexico or Venezuela. Well, nobody sends anything to Venezuela anymore, unfortunately, but it could go to another foreign country without it having to be duty paid and then apply for the duty drawback later on.
Correct. We work with our on-site builders and do that right now. So right now we have Choi Lee on-site, and we bring all of their boats in through the foreign trade zone, and they sit for sale. And then they can go to a boat show. And because we do require a subrogation bond, they do not need to purchase a boat show bond as well. So we're working with the other builders to do the same.
They can also bring if I'm not mistaken, they can bring the boat in here to the FTZ from the manufacturing facility, not pay duty on it, transact the business of that boat and put it in a foreign flag, and not have to have dealt with the U.S. duty considerations.
Correct.
And if the owner wants to flag it U.S. or import it at a later date, he's welcome to do that, but it's not complicating the process, it's simplifying the process.
Correct. And that's what we try to do, is simplify everything for the builder, the user, the broker.
Right.
And it just defers the duty down until someone wants to pay the duties.
Right.
Yep.
So you have Choi Lee, you have Ferretti, you have...
We have Bonetti, we have
Bonetti?
Princess through
Okay.
Aquamare
Okay.
on site. And we are the yard of choice for San Lorenzo, Majesty, and we also work with the management companies that,
Sure.
work with us to do the same things.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Let me show you just how we designate it.
Absolutely.
It's a simple
Let's take
process.
a walk out. We'll leave our coffee here. I hope nobody steals it.
Maybe they'll put some
coffee.
Maybe they'll put some sambuca in it.
Yours, it would be okay.
Yeah. I don't think Doug would like
So
that.
Sinbad is a boat that we did another segment on.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
let me show you.
So this is designated as an FTZ.
Correct.
Okay. So the audience can see that here you've got a special designation. So this slip is in an now is this boat in the FTZ?
No, it is not.
So the slip can be utilized as a free trade zone, but it doesn't have to be empty if there's no non-duty paid vessel there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
We
done
can,
via
though-
paperwork.
Everything is, yes, done by paperwork. So we have to
Okay.
do a domestic entry
Right.
for a vessel that is not being entered into the foreign trade zone.
Okay.
Otherwise, we just do a formal entry of a vessel, foreign flag vessel coming in.
Okay, so I know a question that rings around the brokerage community a fair bit is if the boat is in the FTZ, and let's say it's a boat that is owned, not one that's an inventory boat, and the owner wants to take the boat out and use it, can he take it out and then bring it back into the FTZ? Is he subject to duties? Is there a form he can fill out to take the boat out?
So if a vessel has been entered, the vessel can depart the designation,
Okay.
but not for pleasure use.
Okay,
It can depart for a survey haul,
Okay.
work to be done,
Okay.
to be showcased at a brokerage open house,
okay.
a boat show.
Right?
and otherwise it cannot be used for pleasure.
Okay.
If an owner would like to use it for pleasure,
Right,
it has to be withdrawn,
okay,
and the options are touch a foreign port
right.
as a withdraw or pay the duties.
Okay, all right. So he could take it out of here. He could go to Bimini, or the Abacos,
Correct.
or Bermuda, or to the Med and come back.
And that would finalize the FTZ program.
Okay, and then he would initiate a new program if he wanted to
Correct.
bring the boat back in. And is there a limit as to whether he's allowed to bring back in or not?
No limits.
Okay.
They can stay in the foreign trade zone as long as they'd like.
Okay.
We, as an operator, require a subrogation bond that lasts a year,
Okay.
and that covers 150% of their duty risk.
Okay.
So the 1.5% of the value of the
So
vessel.
calculate the value of the vessel, multiply
Correct.
1.5, and then 1.5 times that, because
Correct.
the duty would be 1.5. So 1.5 times the liability of duty would be what the amount of the bond is for, not that you have to pay that amount, whatever the insurance company designates as the
correct.
value of that
Yeah.
bond. Just like a yacht broker's bond
Mm-hmm.
is for $10,000, or a yacht salesman's bond is $10,000, but he doesn't have to put up $10,000. He pays $101 or whatever it
Okay.
is that he pays.
So they do have to pay for the bond.
Right.
And it is good for 1 year. And if they stay longer, we have a couple vessels that have been here for more than a year, and then we just execute another bond.
Right. So you just renew.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Amy, that's really interesting. It's really important information. It gives us a good sense of what's different about LMC from some of the other facilities, the model that you guys have. We're going to cut back over to Heather and Dave because they're rolling around the yard, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to see what they're up to. I think Dave's showing her the different lifts, and I think she's
Yes.
pretty surprised at the size of them. So we'll go back out to Heather, and we'll see you on the next segment.
So as we're coming around, we do have 17 out-of-water sheds on site.
Okay.
So a lot of paint jobs are being done in these areas. Any kind of teak work, anytime there's any openings in the boat. We've got 17 of those out of water, and then 8 of them in water. So once again, that's just shows the variety of things that we can show to the boats, accommodate their different scopes of work that's going on. And then as we're coming through, you can see we have some of our bays for a lot of our tenants. Wide variety of shipyard trades that we have here on site.
Yeah, last year when I was filming Yacht Engineering Week for the first time, I didn't even know that this whole thing was here. I didn't even know about LMC, and I live right across the street. So it's crazy that this huge facility is right in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, and I had no idea.
Yeah, being all the way upriver here, it's a little bit hidden from everybody, but on that side of it, we're also kind of all the way up for we're a hurricane-safe marina. Good place to come during that hurricane season.
Yeah, now when you say hurricane-safe, what do you mean by that?
So we're 4.5 miles up the river.
Okay.
So you don't get as much of the storm surge. Being so far inland here. We also are brand new marina, new docks there, sturdy seawalls, good place for everybody to tie up. We also do having the ability to haul out so many boats with the 5 different machines that we have. We can do upwards of 17 boats a day if need be.
Wow.
So in the case of a storm, a lot of people want to come out of the water.
Sure.
And that's when we're hustling around and making sure we can keep everybody as safe as possible.
Gotcha. So I'm sure hurricane season is pretty busy around here.
It certainly is. It's when a hurricane comes in, we definitely go into a different mode. But we've got a great team here to make sure that we're accommodating everybody to the best of our abilities and make sure everybody's nice and safe.
Great.
Yeah.
So where are we heading now?
So this is the basin.
Okay.
This is where a lot of the bigger boats do any of their in-water work.
Okay.
So these slips, they have crane access, which we can offer to the boats, forklift access. Oftentimes they're doing paint jobs in the water if they don't want to come out of the water.
Really? They can do paint jobs in the water?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we only have a few spots that we can do that on this side, but it's just sometimes the option that boats decide to do. If they've already hauled out in the past, we do our best to work with their schedule.
Okay.
And then our slips continue all the way out to the east. These are more 160-foot slips. We've reconfigured the marina over the last few years so that we have about 60% of our slips, both on the hard and in the water, are over 100 feet.
Okay.
So this is the 485 well. We expanded that when we got the new machine, which is the Beast over here. Once again, that's trying to accommodate the bigger vessels to the best of our ability.
Wow, I see why they call it the Beast.
She is a beast. Right now, this boat going back in the water after coming out for a bottom job. Boat just sold, so they're changing the name, doing some painting, and some touch-ups, getting it ready for the new owner.
Awesome.
Yeah, and as you're coming through, all different kinds of projects going on throughout the yard. We have people doing plating work on the hull, full paint jobs, bottom jobs, a lot of running gear works going on, 10-year surveys, and then full shipyard, full refits as well.
Wow.
This boat over here has been here for about a year, doing a full engine swap and teak repair. But yeah, it really ranges in many things. You can come out for year refits or just coming out for a quick bottom job for a week.
Wow, well it seems like LMC is the one-stop shop for all things yachting.
That's what we try our best to do.
All right, well thank you so much for the tour, Dave. I really
Awesome.
appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yacht Engineering Week 2021 has been made possible by Pantropic Power, the only authorized Caterpillar Power Systems dealer in South Florida. Florida Nautical Surveyors, your complete solution to all of your vessel surveying needs. And Robert Allen Law, exclusively dealing with the business of yachting. We would also like to thank Quantum Stabilizers, AME Solutions, DeAngelo Exhaust, MPI Marine Professionals Incorporated, Concord Marine Electronics, Lauderdale Marine Center, Marine Data, Isotropic, Dockmate, and Murray Ventilation Products. Thank you for joining us this year. We'll see you in 2022.